Oh, nah. Nah. Behavior. Who is this? This is not rain. This is not rain, yo. This is more like drought. Who the fuck is this? Why did you just randomly model The Last of Us girl? What the fuck? Who is this? Behavior. I keep telling y'all that behavior is not good at modeling the humans. You can't tell me that you just said, alright, we can't get her likeness. So we just made any motherfucker. Like, who is this? And they're like, if we give her a fit, it's close enough, right? And then speaking about the fit, bro, what is this modeling contour? How did the jeans stay perfectly like right there? Oh yeah. Behavior. No, 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 no. For $15, no less. I think it might be more. I don't even remember or its sale cost. Let's find out. Yeah, for $15. Oh no, 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 no. Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you an Alien Romulus review with an Alien DBD build. Because I just, did that thing where I had a lot of things I wanted to do. So we're just going to put them all together and see how it turns out. Now, mind you, this will probably be um, my least rated video in a while because I'm combining the two audiences that are kind of harshest on my videos, which is movie reviews and DVD. So we'll see how this goes. But, I wanted to talk about Alien Romulus, and if you have looked at the thumbnail and the title, probably, and whatever else, I will be talking about spoilers in this review. If you have not seen the movie, uh, be careful. I'll tell you when I'm about to start talking about the spoilers because I guess that's only fair. But man, I need to talk about the spoilers in this review. Next up, for the DVD portion of this, I wanted perks that kind of went together with what happened in the movie. But then while I was putting together the build together, I just was like, hey, this kind of can be applied to a lot of the movies. You have thing that happens when somebody gets hooked and gets put up, i.e., stored away, and then the face hugger and the burst and the yada 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 and the woo up to bam. You could probably see where some of these perks went from what happens in all the movies, and that's where my first criticism of this movie is. Um, a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's so different," and I'm like, "Is it though? Is it though?" And mind you, again, I love this series, this franchise. I've been wanting Xenomorph to be in DVD forever, so it finally happened. I got my wish there. Okay. Don't think this comes from a hater perspective because one of my favorite movies in the franchise is Alien versus Predator Requiem. Like that, like just let's just put this out there. I know it's bad, but it's one of my favorites. So let's not just say, oh, it's because you're a purist and you only like Alien and Aliens. No, 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 no. So that's where I struggle with the first part because I don't know. I don't know what it's got to be a me problem because a lot of people are calling things super original nowadays, even though things look and do the exact same thing as another. For example, and I'll take this away from the franchise real quick to give an example. If you saw Boogeyman, the horror movie that came out last year, or was that earlier this year? Either way, you saw Boogeyman. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, the creature design is something we've never seen. And then I'm like, did nobody play Until Dawn? Has nobody seen a large humanoid that's skinny? And ah, I'll say you see it again. That's all I'll say there. Um, yeah, that So, things like that. I don't know. People are claiming that Romulus is so different but so familiar, and I just sit there like, no, this is just straight up familiar. Um, just 100% familiar. Just because you retcon a few things here and there, it's just familiar. And that's not to say that that's terrible. I personally do see where it fits in the timeline. It's supposed to take place after one. And frankly, I see it, I feel it, and I go, yeah, no, that makes sense. This definitely would slot in the franchise right after one. If you haven't seen the entire franchise, you don't need to see this movie, but I would recommend that you do. I think that it lends itself well in the timeline compared to some of the shit like Prometheus and Covenant, uh, where you go, what the fuck is happening? If you've seen one, and then you see Romulus, it kind of fits. Not one for one verbatim, because there's some shit that happens in Aliens that is kind of odd that is alluded to in this one. So it's just like, wait, why would we be here with these group of people? And to that extent, I guess I'll talk about that. So if you've seen Aliens, you know that shit's going down because people are trying to terraform planets, and then there's like a whole thing. And apparently, according to some interview, I don't remember where I saw this, but so take this with a grain of salt. Maybe I'm source making it up in my mind or some shit. But I could have sworn that somebody was talking about how the kids walking or going playing on the ship or the station in two is like, well, what happens with them? And that's where you get to the development of Romulus, which is okay. But then you go into Romulus and you're like, so wait, we are far along, okay? We are like far along as to why there would be people going to this situation. Now let's talk about the situation. You have a group of, I thought they were teens. I've also heard that they're supposed to be like early 20s, and as somebody that's 26, they're teens. I don't care. I don't care. Uh, I it was just very teenage thinking, and that's not to say that we've never seen people make dumb decisions in horror movies. But you're trying to tell somebody that's 26 that they're supposed to be like 5 years younger than me. Now, mind you, I also work in education, and I can tell you, some shit is kind of chalk, y'all. People are not making strong decisions, and education is not great lately. But I guess. I personally think they're teens, and I'm honestly, I don't care enough to go look that up right now in this moment. So you could be mad at that part of this review for me to not check that. But you know, I, that should tell you a lot. There are some very interesting decisions, and you don't get justice for them in the way that I would have liked. So we have a group of kids. I'm calling them kids. You have a group of kids that are on this colony planet that's being developed, and everybody's got to pay their tax to the company and to get off and get into the other universes and galaxies to do whatever they want to do. They got to find a way to make bank to get out so they can be out of their contract of the clutches of the corporation. Okay, that's fine. So they find out that they have this ship, and they can go onto this derelict ship into space to hopefully get some parts to sell them and use them and things like that, right? Um so that goes with my first like plot thing, and this isn't too much of a spoiler, but obviously they need a ship to get to a ship, and they have access to a ship. So then my first question in my analytical mind, probably too analytical, is just like, wait, if they have a ship already, why can't they just fucking leave? Uh, I don't know. I don't know how that works. It isn't really. Maybe I missed a line or two that was too explicit. Of like, hey, even though they have this ship, they can't leave because bam. I don't know. I don't know. But they're trying to get things off of the ship, and surprise, surprise, the ship has things on the ship. Oh no, they're so scary. And also the characters in the cast. First off, everybody seems to love the main duo. You have Rain and her brother Andy. Andy's actor knocked that shit out the fucking park. Because this is where I will give you a spoiler already. I don't think it's that major of a spoiler. I think you can figure it out given how every other fucking movie in this franchise goes. They tell you pretty immediately that he's a synthetic, okay? So that's not the spoiler. But he has some personality changes throughout this. And you go, what the fuck? Are we doing another bad guy synthetic thing? I'm not putting that. I'm not telling you the answer here. I'll leave that ambiguously because this isn't the spoiler section. But, you know, he nailed those fucking personality changes. That was phenomenal. And played the character, the mannerisms peak. Oh my gosh. I think Andy's actor did a phenomenal job. So that puts the movie higher up for me in the franchise like tier list rankings in my head than, not. So that's that. And I think Rain's character was okay. The person behind Rain, perfectly fine, did a fine job. I just think that Andy's character had a lot more areas to be dynamic to express how good the actor can portray compared to Rain, where that's just the script. That's not the fault of the actor, actress. That's not anybody's fault when you just have a character that is kind of one note, and that's where I feel that that's where Rain's character was. It's just a lot of they're very understanding of everything, and that's where it's just like how how old are we? Because they're very understanding, but the rest of the cast isn't understanding about jack shit really about about really fucking anything. So it seemed like to me it seemed like high school where you have one friend that might be a little bit more the mom of the group and mature and able to rationalize things and take care of others that are around them. But everybody else just really wants to do some dumb shit. So that's on that credit. But back to the overall where we are in the world. They get on the ship, things are going awry, and things go awry for a long time until you have the people that make it out and the people that don't. So that's where I will now get into spoiler territory because it's hard to talk about these things without straight up saying it. Um, but before we go, I'll let you know that this was okay. This was okay. It's okay. I don't think you should buy into all of the hype. And again, as somebody that likes the franchise, don't buy into all of the hype of this movie. It's good ish. It's okay. It's not great. It's good at times. Other parts, it's not. How you feel about that on your pros and cons list may vary. For me, it comes to a solid 7 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I'll give it that. It's okay. It's okay. I'll admit it made me feel a little bit empty inside, and then I found out why it made me feel empty inside. And that'll go into this portion of spoilers. So starting in 3, 2, 1, spoiler territory. Um, have you seen Alien Resurrection? Have you seen that movie? Yeah, I've seen that movie, And fuck, I didn't want to see it again. I didn't want somebody to do Alien Resurrection, but better, because that movie was goofy and it was what it was. It was really bad. But then you also go, hey, fuck it. We got everybody. We got a lot of big names in this cast, and something new. There's a human xenomorph hybrid. That's freaky, and it looks weird. And like not just it's a xenomorph, but like came out of human like they all fucking do. No, it's just like they tried to do a thing, and wait, the queen gave like birth. She gave like birth with a capital B. Okay, like she didn't just lay some eggs. She gave birth. So you have that, and then you do it again in this. So that's why I fucking that's point my biggest point off. I didn't really think about why I felt so hollow until I read that as somebody else's comment was just like, this was just resurrection. And I was like, holy fuck, they're right. This was just resurrection. And I don't like that. The other thing that I don't like is the AI, CGI, bringing back Ian home to bring us Ash back to make him called Rook because we had Bishop, I guess. So chess piece, haha. Like, eh, but then we have Andy and fucking like Walter. Like, why are we? Okay, whatever. But they brought Ash back, and I think you could have just not did that. Actually, I think you could have just not fucking did that. That that's a feel bad. That is not a good. That's not a good look, dude. And I kind of wish I knew that going in because that like why'd you do that? You had ample opportunity to make your own fucking movie. And if that's the only way that you could think to connect this between one and beyond, you did a shit job. Now, I don't think that that's the only way, but that said, you didn't need to do this then, right? Like if you perfectly illustrated in other places where this falls into the timeline, you didn't need to bring back a man from the grave for this performance. I don't know. I didn't like that. But that's not the only things that I liked. I know I'm already talking about things that I didn't like, but man, they hit you fast, and then I had to circle back. So one of the first things that I didn't like is we spend a lot of time on face huggers, and people are just alive. People are just alive. That this should not fucking be alive. Like, like what? Uh, there's a room filled with face huggers, and usually in every other movie, it takes all the king's horses and all the king's men to get a face hugger off of somebody again. But you just got teams swatting it away, swatting them away, just boom, bam, and then pulling it off until, oh no, it finally got somebody and they couldn't do it. Like, we spent a lot of time on face huggers in this movie. I feel like the face huggers had more screen time than the xenomorphs, and I'm not counting the last hybrid. I feel like our class of xenomorph, maybe that's a little bit harsh. Maybe they didn't, but fuck, we spent a lot of time on the fucking face huggers. So that was, hey, people are just living. People are just fucking living. You got dipshit teens, dipshit. Yeah, I'm gonna keep calling them teens and young adults. Fuck it, I'll settle for there. Dipshit young adults making. And I will give them this credit. When they made some of the terrible decisions, it wasn't just straight up like, wait, why would you do that? Like, it wasn't that bad. Because there was like, okay, if somebody is under a very spooky situation, lots of stress, a lot of duress, right? I could see them making this questionable ass decision. So it makes sense in that way, but you still don't want them to do it because at some point you do have to kind of stop the bullshit. right? You do have to kind of stop the bullshit. Another thing, just on the note of things that why Rain gets mad at Andy at a point and she slaps the shit out of him. But her hand doesn't hurt and he's synthetic. How? How? That's one thing that I wanted to know more about. How did that not hurt her hand that much? But going back to more real things, the face huggers, they also apparently no longer just attack. You can apparently creep past face huggers if you match the body temperature with the body temperature of the room. Don't make too much noise, but do make noise. What the fuck was that? Hello? Since when? Since when? When the fuck? Okay? Cause when the fuck? And you go, well, Ripley survived with Newt in the room when they were asleep until they woke up. And I go, okay. I like you had me in the first half of it when I was just like, you're right. We do have an example of face huggers not immediately being on to somebody because their body temperature is lowered because they're asleep. And that's kind of what happens throughout the series when, even if they're not just asleep in the room, they got taken. Usually, when we get a cut to somebody getting face huggered and they've been captured, it's after they wake up and their basal temperature starts rising again and the egg opens up and then it goes, "Wah!" you know? So, okay, cool. I get it. Fine. Another thing that I was just like, what the fuck are we doing here? The Xenomorphs saw the gun, the one gun that Rain had, as a threat. And mind you, Andy gave it to Rain and the other dude. I can't even remember his fucking name right now. He was just like, don't fire it in here. It might fucking shoot everything off the fucking bluey. But it shouldn't make them see it as a threat. So they just like, don't do it. Bullshit. We have always seen Xenomorphs just fucking full send after people through guns and through turrets because they know that while they might go down, the goal is to get that person one way or another. So when the fuck do they have threat recognition of one gun? Okay, fine, fuck it. Now, going to points that I did like, real quick, to take a break from negativity, I did kind of like how people got fucking yoinked. Alright? People got snatched in this one. I liked that. I liked that. And immediately I'll add another one where people got snatched. Why the fuck did it catch Rain in the elevator shaft and then place her down gently instead of holding her until she could be face huggered? Like, she gave it a chance to not. I'm sorry, the Xenomorph gave Rain a chance to not be face hugged. Like, what the fuck? And then Xenomorph and Rain are like 5 inches apart. Because again, like I just said, just had Rain in its tail. And then our hero Andy, this is the part that was a little bit fucking cheesy. I was just like, okay, nah, we can tone that down all the fuck way down. We were doing good now. Andy was just 15 miles fucking away on this elevator shaft, and so was this gun. Had to get both the gun and get down to shoot the Xenomorph and not get the acid blood splashed on him to save everybody and be okay. And he was able to do that before anything happened, even though both the Xenomorph and the Facehugger are right next to her. And like I just said, they just had her. And then he jumps down, gets on top of the Xenomorph, puts the whole mag in. Don't touch her. And then The acid blood that just was a problem 3 seconds ago didn't splash back on him at point blank range, even though it always splashes back? Excuse me? So that was another one. And also, where the fuck did what happened to the other gun? If you're at the spoiler section, think about it. What happened to the other gun? The one that was given to our pregnant character to be okay? What happened to the other gun? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? So, that's that. But then going back to things that were good again, I think that both the score and the set design looked phenomenal and sounded great. The sounds were perfect from what I wanted. It was kind of immersive. The lighting wasn't as bad as Alien vs. Predator Requiem. It wasn't as goofy and showy as Alien 3 or Alien Cube. It wasn't as bad as 3. Um it or it was good. I it was still a little bit darker than 1, but it played well into it. It made use of the lighting very well. So I'll give credit there. The other thing that I do have to give credit to, even though I'm upset by, I'm saying they're retcons because it's just like, since when the fuck ever? I do like that there were better uses of environmental hazards, mainly the acid blood, but that the gravity purge, the you can't shoot or else it might set things off. Now, mind you, she does end up shooting the gun, so I don't really. But that was just like, if you shoot, even though the gravity is on, it might be fucky, but having the gravity off might not fuck it. I don't know. Environmental hazards was a good thing in this one. This one had, it made sense. Now the fucking zero gravity acid blood bullshit. I didn't like that scene. I'm sorry. I know some people liked it. I thought that was so fucking dumb. It was so dumb. But I'll give it a pass because it did raise the stakes. Like, hey, we killed him, but now there is free floating acid in the air, and that the fucking gravity will turn back on soon. And if it goes through this entire fucking ship, we are fucked. Okay, like, I did like how they played into things like that. But going back to not liking things, I'm going to progress a little bit further to another acid thing. And after we've established that apparently we lost the other gun, um, can somebody identify to me why we did another human Xenomorph hybrid, just like Resurrection? Just like Resurrection. It looked different, but it didn't do shit. It did a swipe at Andy, took him out for a bit, okay? It killed its mother, okay? And then it kind of just let Rain do whatever the fuck it wanted to do for like 5 years until we figured it out. And once again, one thing that is a criticism of the entire franchise, and again, as a lover of it, how the fuck are so many people just stronger than the vacuum of space and the airlocks and things like that? Because each time, the thing that is we need to get out of the ship gets fucking pieced to hell, even though it's proven to be stronger than a human. But the human is just good, hanging from a rope, surviving through this thing. Like, I don't know how we keep getting away with this bullshit, but I think we could stop doing it. I think we can stop doing it. I think we can stop doing it. So, you don't have to bring back every tradition sometimes. You don't need to. But this new hybrid, it did look creepy to a lot of people. I now give it credit. It did look creepy. But going back to my earlier point, uh, man, originality. People, people, man. It looked good. It looked good. But I would have liked it to be different. I think you could have looked good and different, which I know is a very nitpicky kind of thing. But you had the option, instead of it being a xenomorph queen that gave live birth, it was a pregnant young adult, a young woman, and she gives birth to this thing. Also, Rain, you fucked up. You had a chance to take the shot. You didn't take the shot, so now it's on you, and now you had to do all that, which is another like real quick aside before I get back to the point of the design of the character, the creature itself. Uh we could have wrapped this movie up at a couple of points. We could have. We really could have. And we did. So I feel like it would have been a better movie had you just picked your plot, you picked your points to wrap it the fuck up. Which is why I'll be wrapping this up soon too. To end it on the creature design. It looked reminiscent of an engineer, kind of. So I understand where they're going. They went tall and freaky. Oh shit, we'll just make a skinnier engineer xenomorph human kind of situation looking thing. But if you would have did kind of a Predalien thing, where the reason that it came out so fucked is because she took the shot that Rook had synthesized so she could survive basically. But that backfired. I feel like you could have went ham on it being roided. Like you could have made it motherfucking jacked. Okay? If the whole point was like this is the next step of evolution, I think that would have been the perfect time to give us a fucking swole xenomorph. And mind you, this isn't a knock on the movie. I'm not taking parts away from there because what they did was fine, and it did creep people out. So it did what it was supposed to do. Just personally, as an aside, I would have liked if you gave us one that was fucking ripped. Like it was in the gym. It was a bro. It came out tearing shit apart because that's been the contrast. You have all the tiny like scrawny bugs that eventually get there and do the thing, and then you had Predator again, mind you, that's not in the fucking Alien canon pretty much, but that's where AVP has that dichotomy where Predator is like, all right, Hunter, boom. If you would have made a fucking jacked human xenomorph hybrid so that it on top of that is way different than what we already did in Resurrection, I would have fucking loved that. That was a missed opportunity in my eyes. So, overall, the movie, I know I've talked about a lot of negatives, and there are positives because it's better than a lot of the rest. And I think that's where a lot of people are drawing their super positive opinion. Either you haven't seen the rest of the franchise and you go, ooh, what happened there? So it still gives you that factor. Or you've seen the rest of the franchise and you go, oh, thank goodness it's better than 3, Resurrection, Prometheus, and Covenant. Oh my goodness, thank goodness it was better than those. So, there's relief there. Is it better than Alien or Aliens for me? I don't think so. And I don't even typically see myself as one of those people like, oh, the originals were just peak. Because again, like I said, I like Alien vs. Predator Requiem. That is a bad movie, but I liked it. So, it's there, but I think it's okay. I want to know if first off, given the amount of reviews I've seen, I know I'm not the popular opinion on this one. I just say it's okay. It's fine, and sometimes we take it's fine. I'm only disappointed because of how everybody else was hyping it up, and then I look at it, even though I know what Resurrection looks like. So, yeah. Tell me what you think about the movie, if you've seen it, and if you watched it this far and you don't intend to watch the movie, but you just like seeing the gameplay in the background, we could do that too. Whatever it may be, let me know what you think. And with that being said, hey, that being said, there's a lot to say. I've said a lot, so I won't dwell too much. But if you like the video, like it, got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.